To have you back. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria says it has fulfilled its pledge to clear the backlog of foreign exchange owed foreign airlines in the country, with an additional $64.4 million to the concerned airlines. Confirming the figures, as late yesterday, the acting director of corporate communications at the CBN, Mrs. Hakama Sidi Ali, noted that the amount paid to the airlines, the total verified amount paid to that sector, to $136.7 million, emphasizing that all the verified airline claims had now been cleared. However, there is a disagreement between the CBN and operators regarding the claims that the former that it has completed the payment of foreign exchange backlogs trapped in the country. For more on this, let's speak to Mr. Wale Shadari, who is live in the studio. He's an aviation journalist and analyst. Thank you so much. It's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
I think it's the first time this year.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you. Well, when I heard this news yesterday, I would say good news, but with the reactions that I've been getting today from IATA, from Nanta, and what's the true position of things at the moment?
The true position is that the government should be commended for doing this.
Good.
Because what it means is that the federal government is owing any airline.
Oh.
Yes, that's what it means. So their money is with their banks. So what they are just waiting for is to bid through the IRE window to get their money. And we've been having problem with that window in the last couple of weeks. So I think government needs to wade into it so that they can get their money. Nigeria is not owing them. I mean, when I say Nigeria, the CBN is not owing any airline. All the traffic fund has been paid, so their money is with them. And remember, what happened was that when this government came in, this government said to them that they don't have foreign exchange to pay them, but they are going to pay them the backlog of about $236 million, which government has paid in 2 tranches now. So the bulk of the money, and government said, if you want your money, we don't want to go through the pain of you having to wait to get your money from the CBN, to convert this money, naira to dollars, to get your money. So we'll clear the backlog, but with the IRE window, you go there and bid and get your money and take your money straight away to your country. So government is not owing them. Their money is with central bank. It's even with them. It's just a way of converting this into dollars for them to repatriate. Fantastic one by government.
So the allegation of approximately 700 million being booked in commercial banks.
It was. We were actually misled. The media was misled because I was in Geneva for the IATA event,
okay.
And IATA was very, very hard on Nigeria, that Nigeria is owing it $700 and something million, and we were worried, and we had to make calls to different agencies. Please give them back their money. But what happened was that the government didn't react to that. What the government said was that they were going to pay the backlog of what they were owing them. So we actually didn't know that the bulk of the money was not actually with the CBN. It was actually with their banks. So what IATA did was a kind of blackmail, and you wouldn't also blame them. Maybe if they had not done that, we wouldn't even get the true picture of what is happening. Even if you read the IATA statement, they admitted that the Central Bank of Nigeria has cleared the backlog of what they are owing, that their monies are with the commercial banks. So what they are just waiting is for the process for them to repatriate the money. The money is there in Naira. It's just for them to get the dollar. Then you have to also go and get this money like every other person is doing at the IRE window. That is what was holding them from getting their money. But with this clarification, there's no confusion here. Federal government is not owing them a dime. They've paid everything. They just need to go to their banks and bid and get their money like
so the rates issues comes in here, right?
That is why the airlines are charging exorbitant fares on the Nigerian route.
Yes.
So what it means is that you sell at the ongoing market rate instead of them to wait to get at the official rates now. That was what was even going there, because when they bid, they wait for government to get forest to pay them at the official rate. But now you get it, you just go and bid and get just like everybody is doing. There's no preferential treatment for any businessman. You go to the airline window and get your money. So that is what happened. So government is not owing airlines. And even Nanta admitted, I also admitted that government is not owing them, but their monies are with the central bank. With the commercial bank. So it's a good one for Nigeria. At least we know where the problem is now. So they need to go to their bank. The government also need to help them speak to the bank for them to get their monies repatriated.
Because somebody spoke to me today when he saw the flyer and I was talking to you and said, this is also, we need to check the liquidity of the banks. Do the banks really have this money to pay at this time?
The banks have collected even beyond.
Yeah, of course, I know they should be able to.
And that is why fares are very expensive. And the airlines have also removed the lower inventory. And that is what Nanta is saying. Since government has paid you, and the reason for you to close the lower inventory is because of the problem of Trafon. Because they were scared that, okay, by the time they get their funds, depreciation would have happened to their money. And that is why they are getting their airfares are very, very expensive. You go to Ghana, compare the rate from Ghana, from Accra to London, and the same rate from Lagos to London, which is the same equidistance, and they are charging you 50% more than they are charging people traveling from Accra to London. And Nigeria fares are very, very expensive. That is why a lot of people are leaving Nigeria to go to Accra, to go to Lome, because it's 50% cheaper than what you have in Nigeria. So the airlines are even making a kill on this route. And that is why Nanta has said, you need to return the lower inventories. What the lower inventory means is that when we started having that problem, they closed the lower inventory. Everybody is buying at a very high, expensive.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't the one that you could book earlier and all of that. Because, sorry to interject you, because I heard Nanta's position clear to Atta is that the full inventories are not released by all airlines by February 2nd.
So we have a lot of battle on our hands now.
Good.
We commend Nanta for what Nanta has done. Mrs. Susan Akpori commended for somebody must speak for Nigeria. Somebody must speak for the people. And that is exactly what Mrs. Susan Akpori has done. And she should be commended. The airline should return the lower inventory so that people can get cheaper fares. It doesn't make sense. We're losing a lot of money. The foreign, travel agencies too are losing a lot of money because they can't even pay in they can't even buy in Naira. People are paying in dollars. Them to pay directly to them. So they're losing a lot of market. So what she has done is highly commendable, and we hope and believe that the airlines will see reason of what Nanta is saying. Let us have a fair deal. Your money has been paid to you, so return the lower inventory. It's simple as it's very simple. So we just hope that the airlines have read that, they've listened to her,
and they comply.
Because she says Nanta is going to mount a media campaign.
Yes, social media.
On social media.
Yes.
And no airlines want to be
I get
rubbished. You understand? So I think they will comply. Let them turn the lower inventory.
Do you think this will start to return that that investment confidence or investors' confidence back into our country?
Absolutely, because most of the airlines that have threatened to leave this country actually know that they won't leave because they are really making a kill.
Yeah, they are.
There's no competition. The nine carriers are not even providing competitions for them. So it's like they are here and can decide to say first from Lagos to London, 10 million naira. Yeah. Nigerians will be forced to fly because they don't have any alternative. If we had a very good airline, local airline that could reciprocate this, perhaps maybe the competition would have been better. But there's no competition; they're just having a few days. So it will restore investors' confidence into the system that the federal government has lived up to what it said it was going to do. Because when the federal government said they were going to clear the backlog, nobody took them seriously because of the loss of confidence in government. So, but IATA admitted that the backlog has been cleared. So it's a good one for Nigeria. And the Minister of Aviation, too, must be highly commended, Mr. Festus Keyamo, because the last time I spoke with him, he said, don't worry, we'll clear this backlog. We will see what we can do that. We have a lot of Forex now to settle some of these things. So I'm really excited because this has really put a lot of pressure, not only on the government, it has even put a kind of dangerous spotlight on the country over this matter. So all the people that, ensured that we cover our face, were not put to shame, should honestly be lauded for this.
Yeah, let's talk about other issues now, challenges. Of course, it's a new year, and a series of challenges are still, affecting the sector. Which do you think will be top this year? We still have aviation fuel crisis in our hands. We don't know. I don't know how soon Dangote refinery will start to supply the airlines. So what are you thinking will top, will shape activities of the aviation industry this year?
I think what will shape the activities of the aviation industry is Forex. It's very, very difficult for airlines now because we know the rate at which the naira is tumbling every day. So you actually cannot plan with this type of system where you want to plan with on 1,200, the next 400. It destroys whatever plans you want to do. So I think government should look for a way to ensure maybe they give them a special window where they can assess Forex because everything in aviation is highly dollarized. You want to do your maintenance. In fact, the language in aviation is dollars. So they need a lot of Forex. And if you look at it, the number of aircraft we have these days are really depleting. From 60, 70, we have less than 40 aircraft now in the system. So many of them have the aircraft that have been taken to overseas and they can't come back because of Forex challenges. So government should look into that and see how they can make dollars available or Forex available to these airlines. We also need to look at infrastructure. Government needs to invest heavily on infrastructure because there's no way you're going to improve aviation industry without good infrastructure. And there's no way you're going to also ensure that airlines depart on time without good infrastructure. Some of our infrastructure, they are really, really aging or they have aged, and government need to. We can have PPP on that, whereby you can concession some of this infrastructure needs, and government needs to take it seriously because aviation is dynamic, aviation is very unique. Then you also have the issue of, I think forest and infrastructure. Government should look into it.
There's a big story now, the relocation story. People are talking about it. It's controversial, both the CBN and for fun.
I don't think it should be controversial because the decision taken by the former administration or the former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, was ill-advised. And I remember when they took the agencies to Abuja, some of us raised the alarm that FAN had no business in Abuja. NCA had no business in Abuja. NAMA has no business in Abuja. I don't know why they took that decision, but I think the government has done the right thing by bringing back the FAN to Lagos and part of CBN to Lagos. I think federal government should even go beyond that to bring all the aviation agencies to Lagos because Lagos is like a natural hub for aviation in Nigeria, and most airlines have their offices here. They have all their logistics here. They have all their coordination in Lagos. So why take aviation to Abuja? It has no business. In the United States, not all important federal agencies are in Washington. You have some in San Francisco, you have some in Dallas, based on the necessity of those agencies in those areas. So it was thoughtless to have taken those agencies Fan, Nama, NCA to Abuja. So I'm really, really excited that the government saw the need to say, no. This decision was wrong. And by bringing Fan, yes, it has caused a lot. I wouldn't call it a controversy. I believe people who really don't know how strategic these agencies are, by citing them in Lagos as one crying for where there's none. And also, I've also discovered that in this country, we play politics with everything. Things that shouldn't even be necessary, we play politics with it. Some group came up to say, no, decision was taken to make some regions not to be developmental. And I asked myself, what are we talking about? So I think more needs to be done. I think government needs to bring back Nigeria Airspace Management Agency to Lagos. They also need to bring back Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority back to Lagos. This is where aviation is, and it should remain that way.
It should remain that way. The minister, it's been a while we heard from him. I'm sure a lot of work is going on. It's a new year. What more are you expecting with government? Now, for our local airlines, now I'm going to ask around that, because their position was that they wanted to be competitive. They moved against Nigerian Air and all of that.
You see, the Nigeria Air project was all politics, if I may say. There are so many people, it's an interest thing. Even from the players, even from the airlines, even from the government, everybody had interest. And once you begin to show interest on something that should be nationalistic, it will go the way it went. But the federal government, through Mr. Festus Keyamo, said he would discuss with the president. I think they want national carrier. But the process that was applied by the former administration, they felt wasn't transparent enough. So we hope that this time around, Mr. Keyamo and his team will give us a very, in quote, transparent airline. Yeah, Nigeria needs a national carrier, and that is the feeling of a lot of people. The airlines that we have now, yes, they are doing their best, but they do not have the capacity and the capability to even rival the smallest airline in the world. So that is where we are now. And there's no way those airlines will grow if government does not support them. Yes, they've been designated to some routes, but what is the performance? Do they really have money to sustain their operation? Airline business is highly capital intensive. It's not something that we even encourage somebody that does not have deep pocket to go into. The airlines, as they are now, are in serious trouble. And if care is not taken, I think I see one or two of them going under before the end of this year. The situation is very, very tough for them out there. So government needs to help them. Government needs to assist them, whatever waiver they can give them, whatever assistance they can muster to give these airlines for them to survive. That would be fantastic. Because if one airline goes under, over 1,000 people or 500 people have lost their jobs. So government must sustain that. In other clients, what government does is that when they see an airline going under, the airline even filed for Chapter 14 or so, bankruptcy. So what it means is that, okay, government can win it all, other encumbrances for them to get out of their problem. And government even pumps money, because if an airline like United, for instance, is one of the biggest airlines in the world, goes under, over 200,000 people will lose their jobs. And United States will never allow that to happen. So government needs to help the airlines. The airlines are really, 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 really in trouble. They have difficulties. It's only government that can help them. Let's look at the tax. Let's look at the charges. There are too many charges in the aviation industry, and over 35. So how do you expect these airlines to breathe? They can never breathe. None of them is profitable. None. No single Nigeria airline is profitable. It's just an elitist thing, because they also use that to get loans abroad. where some of them allegedly do round tripping. So you see some of those airline people running airline, but they are not actually,
not really,
yes, it's just a facade for them to do some other things and for them to get government money. So government needs to help them. Government needs to come in because everything still back to government. Government needs to help them, but how they are going to help them is how they are going to help them is what I do. But because in the past, government has given them bailout. Some of them took this bailout and absconded, running several billions of naira. On 2 or 3 occasions, nothing happened. So, and the airlines are heavily indebted, over 36 billion naira. How do you expect them to get it? What is even the number of traffic? Nigeria population is about 220 million people. I'm sure it's even more than that. Less than 5% take to air travel. The passenger traffic every year oscillates between 18 and 20 million passengers. That is even poor. Dubai is a country of less than 10 million people, but the passenger traffic in Dubai is over 88 million. Then it shows that there are things that they are doing that is right, and there are things that we are doing that is wrong. So that are wrong. So we actually need to look inward and begin to see how we can assist these airlines to remain afloat.
Interesting one. A lot of activities expected in the year. Thank you so much, Mr. Awishadari, for your insights into this as usual. We appreciate this and wish you a great 2024.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then. Well, it's time to look at market figures. The market is still in red. The market is down 1.89.